Dear student, this is Kamru Nahar, your science miss. Today I am going to discuss about chapter 4, reproduction in plants. Now, sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants involves the production of male and female gametes, the transfer of the male gametes to the female ovules in a process called pollination. So, flower is an important organ of plant for sexual reproduction. After pollination occurs, fertilization happens and the ovule grow into seeds within a fruit. Now, flower. Flower is defined as the part of a plant that is often brightly colored and provides the pollen that is moved from plant to plant for pollination. Again, I am saying flower is an important organ of plant for sexual reproduction. Now, parts of flower: receptacle, calyx, petal, stamen, androecium, carpel, gynoecium. Look at the figure. This is the part of stamen. Stamen consists of anther and filament. This is anther and this is filament. This is petal, this is receptacle, this is sepal, and the stigma, style, and ovary consist carpel. The carpel contains stigma, style, and ovary. This is stigma, this is style, and this is ovary. So, the parts of flowers are 5 in number: receptacle, calyx, petal, stamen, and carpel. Stamen also known as androecium and gynoecium is known as carpels. Okay, stamen consists of anther and filament, and carpel consists of stigma, style, and ovary. Now, types of flower. There are two types of flower: complete flower and incomplete flower. All the parts when are present in a flower, that it is called complete flower, and when there is the absence of any part of the flower, then it is called incomplete flower. Due to the presence of all parts, we are dividing the flower into two types. If all part of a flower is present in a flower, then it is called complete flower. If there is a absent of any part, then it is called incomplete flower. Now, Epicalyx. Some flowers have extra parts under the calyx. This extra part is called Epicalyx. Basically, in China rose, in Java flower, we can see this Epicalyx part. Look at this. This is the Epicalyx part. This is calyx and this is Epicalyx. Now, flowers may be stalked or unstalked. That means some flowers may or may not have stalks. Flowers with stalk is known as stalk flower, and if it has no stalk or without stalk, then it is called unstalked flower. Now, sepal and petals are known as accessory holes of a flower, and stamens and carpels are known as essential holes of a flower. So these are very important point. You have to know the sepal and petals. Sepals and petals are known as accessory holes, and stamens and carpels are also known as essential hole. Here is the figure of part of a flower. I have said earlier, this is carpel, this is stamen, and this is petal, and this is sepal. Okay, this is sepal. This is sepal. Petals, stamen, and carpels. Okay. Now, different parts of flower. Sepals, collectively called the calyx, are modified leaves that encase the developing flower. They are sterile floral parts and may be either green or leaf-like or composed of petal-like tissue. Petals, collectively called the corolla, are also sterile floral parts. The sepal is a defensive organ that encloses and protects the developing reproductive structure. At maturity, the sepal opens when the flower blooms. Okay, this is sepal. Look at the figure, and this is petal, and here is the reproductive organs that protect by the sepal. Now, petals. This is petals, this is petals, and this is sepal. Petals are modified leaves that surround the reproductive parts of a flower. They are often brightly colored or unusually shaped to attract pollinators. Together, all the petals of a flower are called corolla. Together, all the petals are called corolla. Okay, usually the number of petals in a flower will be the same as the number of sepals. If the sepals of a flower are joined together, then the petals are separate. Look at the line. If the sepals of a flower are joined together, then its petals are separated and not joined. Okay, if sepals are joined, then petals are separated, and the number of petals are same as the number of sepals. Okay, now stamen. Stamen, the pollen reproducing part of a flower, usually with a slender filament supporting the anther. Anther, the part of the stamen where pollen is produced. Pistil, the ovule producing part of a flower. The ovary often support a long style topped by the stigma. Pistil was not also mentioned in your book, but you should know that the ovule producing part of a flower is known as pistil. Now, this is stamen total, this is stamen, and this is anther, and this is filament. Okay, this is the structure of stamen. Now, carpel. A carpel is the female reproductive part of the flower, interpreted as modified leaves that bear structures called ovules, inside which the egg cells ultimately form and composed of ovary, style, and stigma. So, carpel is composed of ovary, style, and stigma. Okay, this is stigma, this is style, and this is ovary, and this is ovule, and this is pollen tube. So, carpel consists of ovary, style, and stigma. Now, inflorescence. Inflorescence, the mode of arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, is known as inflorescence. Inflorescence is of two types, racemose and cymose. Racemose, the growth of the floral axis is unlimited, and in case of cymose, the growth of the floral axis is limited. These are the difference between racemose and cymose. So, what is inflorescence? Inflorescence is the mode of arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, and there are two types of inflorescence. One is zymos and other is racemose. In case of racemose, the growth of the floral axis is unlimited, and in case of cymose, the growth of the floral axis is limited. Now, thank you everybody. Best of luck.